Hi students, I'm Praveen Sebastian Paul. In this lecture, we are discussing the political issues and religious viewpoints in organ transplantation. So when we come to the political issue, there are also controversial issues regarding how organs are allocated to recipients. For example, some believe that the liver should not be given to alcoholics in danger of reversion, while others view alcoholism as a medical condition like diabetes. Faith in the medical system is important to the success of organ donation. Brazil switched to an opt-out system and ultimately had to withdraw it because it further alienated patients who already distrusted the country's medical system. Adequate funding, strong political will to see transplant outcomes improve, and the existence of specialized training, care, and facility also increase donation rates. Expansive legal definition of death, such as Spain uses, also increases the pool of eligible donors by allowing physicians to declare a patient to be dead at an earlier stage when the organs are still in good physical condition. Allowing or forbidding payment for organ affects the availability of organs. Generally, where organs cannot be bought or sold, quality and safety are high, but supply is not adequate to the demand. Where organs can be purchased, the supply increases. When we come to the religious viewpoints, there are several different religions that have different perspectives. Islam has a conflicting view regarding the issue, with half believing that it is against the religion. Muslims are commanded to seek medical attention when in need, and saving life is a very important factor of the Islamic religion. Buddhism is mostly against the practice because it disrespects the bodies of ancestors and nature. Christianity is the most lenient on the topic of organ donation and believes it is service of life. All major religions accept organ donation in at least some form on either utilitarian grounds or deontological grounds. Most religions among the Roman Catholic Church support organ donation on the grounds that it continues an act of charity and provides a mean of saving a life. One religious group, the Jesus Christian, became known as the kidney cult because more than half of its members had donated their kidneys altruistically. Jesus Christian claimed altruistic kidney donation is a great way to do unto others what they would want you to do unto them. Some religions impose certain restriction on the types of organ that may be donated and on the mean by which organs may be harvested or transplanted. For example, Jehovah's Witnesses require that organs be drained of any blood due to their interpretation of the Hebrew Bible Old Testaments as prohibiting blood transfusion, and Muslims require that donor have provided written consent in advance. A few groups disfavor organ transplantation or donation. Notably, these include Shinto and those who follow the customs of gypsies. Orthodox Judaism considers organ donation obligatory if it will save a life, as long as the donor is considered dead as defined by the Jewish law. In both Orthodox Judaism and non-Orthodox Judaism, the majority view holds that organ donation is permitted in case of irreversible cardiac rhythm cessation. In some cases, rabbinic authorities believe that organ donation may be mandatory, whereas a minority opinion considered any donation of a living organ as forbidden. So these are the religious viewpoints in organ donation. When it comes to the term brain death and cardiac death, brain death may result in legally death, but still with the heart beating with the help of mechanical ventilation, keeping all other vital organs alive and functionally for a certain period of time. Given long enough, patients who do not fully die in the complete biological sense but who are declared brain dead will usually start to build up toxins and waste in the body. In this way, the organs can eventually dysfunction due to coagulopathy, fluid or electrolyte and nutrient imbalance, or even fail. Thus, organs will usually only be sustainable and viable for acceptable use up until a certain length of time. This may depend on factors such as how well the patient is maintained, any comorbidities, the skill of the healthcare team, and the quality of their facilities. A major point of contention is whether transplantation should be allowed at all if the patient is not yet fully biologically dead and the brain death is acceptable, whether the patient's whole brain need to have died, or if the death of a certain part of the brain is enough for legal and ethical and moral purposes. In some nations such as Belgium, France, Netherlands, New Zealand, Poland, Portugal, Singapore and Spain, everyone is automatically an organ donor unless they opt out of the system. Elsewhere, consent from the family members or next of kin is required for organ donation. The non-living donor is kept on ventilator support until the organ have been surgically removed. If a brain-dead individual is not an organ donor, ventilator and drug support is discontinued and cardiac death is allowed to occur. In the United States, where since 1980s, the Uniform Determination of Death Act has defined death as the irreversible cessation of the function of either the brain or the heart and lungs. The 21st century has seen an order of magnitude increase in donation following cardiac death. In 1995, only 1 out of 100 dead donors in the nation gave their organ following the declaration of cardiac death. That figure grew to almost 11% in 2008 according to the Scientific Registry of Transplant Recipients. That increase has provoked ethical concerns about the interpretation of irreversible, since patient may still be alive 5 or even 10 minutes after cardiac arrest, because theoretically their heart could be restarted and thus are clearly not dead because their condition was reversible. When we come to the technical term, the gender inequality, the majority of organ donors are women. For example, in the United States, 62% of kidney donors and 53% of liver donors are women. In India, women constitutes 74% of kidney donors and 60.5% of liver donors. Additionally, the number of female organ recipients is conspicuously lower than the male recipients. In United States, 35% of liver recipients and 39% of kidney recipients are women. In India, the figure are 24% and 19% respectively. So my dear student, in this lecture we had discussed the political issues as well as the religious points and the brain death and the gender policies in organ donation and organ transplantation. So my dear students, kindly go through this assignment question. The first question is, write about the political issues in organ donation. Second question is, write about the religious viewpoints of organ donation. Third question is, compare brain death and cardiac death. Fourth point is, write about the gender inequality in organ donation. So my dear students, in the upcoming lecture we will discuss the distribution, suicide, controversies and public announcements in organ transplantation. So my dear students, see you soon. Until then, goodbye, thank you and all the best.